River's here. Got another story to tell you. And I'm going to read part of it. I wrote this quite a while ago. Christmas season 2006 was a real doozy. Andy Williams may have everyone in the free world brainwashed into thinking that Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year by his 24/7 radio crooning, but my wife and I weren't having any of it in December of 2006. Our home was in foreclosure. My car had given up the ghost. Christmas was just 3 weeks away and Santa was nowhere in sight. Kind of sounds like the lyrics to a country western song, doesn't it? Our prolonged financial problems were trying everybody's patience. Even some loved ones were upset and impatient with us. It was an intense time. It just might have been the worst time of my entire life, or at least one of them. My wife and I were both weary. Our collective well of Christmas cheer was bone dry. I wince whenever I think about December of 2006. We both needed a minor Christmas miracle. We got one. My wife and I are parents to 7 children, including a set of 18-year-old triplets, 2 boys and a girl. Or actually 2 girls and a boy. Our children are not perfect kids, but then again, we are not perfect parents. All 7 of my kids are highly verbal and quite opinionated, especially about food. All 7 of them are blessed with terrific senses of humor. All 7 of them have more than a touch of the smart aleck in them. They get it from me. There is never a dull moment in our home. Lots of laughter and plenty of verbal fireworks, mostly good. Sometimes getting the entire family to move forward in lockstep is darn near impossible. The phrase herding cats immediately comes to mind. We have 4 boys and 3 girls. Permit me to make a sweeping generalization. Boys are easier to raise than girls. There, I said it. I feel better now. I have a simple rule of thumb with my boys. Keep them fed, keep them laughing, and you pretty much have everything under control. Please know that I love and I adore my daughters, but it isn't quite so simple with girls. I once heard a father of 3 daughters announce that being the father of daughters means that at any given point in his life, there is always at least one of his daughters who's mad at him for some reason or another. My always quotable father likes to tell me that I am so old now that some of my daughters are actually beginning to like me. But I digress. Back to our minor Christmas miracle. One evening, my wife and I were up in our bedroom, winding down from yet another tough day in December of 2006. We were both discouraged, really discouraged. Out of the blue, 6 of our 7 children piled into our room with huge smiles on their face. Our son James was on his mission down in Arizona at the time, and they presented us with some books, some homemade books. We were blown away. We had no idea what they were up to. Our kids got together and made each of us a top 10 booklet listing all the reasons why they loved and appreciated us. Talk about a shot in the arm. Each of the kids had done a separate top 10 list for Jean and for me. They had figured out that we were both having a tough time. No kidding. Our kids simply wanted to lift our spirits and fill up our Christmas cheer tanks. Mission accomplished. After reading all of the top 10 lists, my wife and I turned into puddles of tears. But our Christmas cheer tanks were filled to the brim. Like I said, a minor Christmas miracle. Let me share with you a couple of, from the top 10 list, a couple of things from this list. Apparently, I repeat myself. One of my daughters, who will remain nameless, enjoyed all of my, quote, stories that are on continual repeat, end quote. Another daughter appreciated me, quote, being in a positive mood when you consider how much stress he is under. One son told me how much he enjoyed doing things with me. I love spending time with him, whether it's hiking, watching football, basketball, or just going to the store with him. I learned that my kids enjoyed, sorta, my sense of humor. Quote, his lame jokes, even though clever at times. Well, I'm glad some of them hit the mark. And, quote, he has a great sense of humor, and he knows it. A son wrote that he appreciated my, quote, father's interviews with him. One daughter is grateful that, quote, or that I, quote, like to spend time with her. One son wrote, quote, thinks he's European. Another son liked my advice. Quote, gives great advice even when unwanted. Finally, this one might be the one I like the best. One daughter simply wrote, loves mom, which I do. When I get discouraged and out of sorts, I sometimes grab my Christmas 2006 top 10 books and read them. It always brings a smile and a tear or two to my face. Maybe Andy Williams was right after all. It's the most wonderful time of the year. May you have a top 10 Christmas.